Hey everybody, it's Tammy Espatia from Unbreak Your Life, where the broken pieces of your life can become a beautiful mosaic. And I realize I'm sitting in a weird spot, but I had to find someplace away from my office to chat with you guys live today. I know I promised yesterday I'd be live today to answer some questions because I've had quite a few of my clients and my followers kind of interested in a little bit more about how to be successful in your own life as your own person, as a woman, a worthy woman, to attract the right guy and to maybe lose the guy that you don't want in your life. So this is Worthy Wednesday, and it's a Worthy Wednesday live, and I'm hoping that I can get some of you all to jump on and ask me some questions that you had asked me before offline. And one of the things that some of my clients have expressed interest in is how to position yourself for the guy that you want. How do you position yourself so that you are worthy in your own right of the guy that you're looking for? So I kind of wanted to ask you guys that question, what you know and what you think about what you're doing to position yourself for the right relationship that you want. Do you guys have any ideas or thoughts on how you've done that? Because I'd like to hear from you if any of you have been successful in that. I can tell you from my own experience, I went through some issues with dealing with a very bad breakup. I've had a couple of bad breakups. I was married once before, and I found that when you are actually healthy in your own self, in your own spirit, in your own mind, and in your own heart, and physically, you tend to attract the right person that you want. So, for instance, for me, I want to attract the kind of guy that is going to be athletic and can keep up with me and want to do those athletic type of things with me, like hiking a mountain, going for runs, going to the gym, somebody who can actually have interest in that, maybe not do it all the time, but have interest and do that on their own. And then also somebody who has a spiritual background, somebody who is not just a Christian, but somebody who shows that they are having a relationship with God, who actually wants to have a relationship with God and is pursuing God. So those are a couple of the things that I look for, and because I am that way, I position myself to attract that kind of individual. So what are you doing? Is there anybody out there who is positioning themselves specifically for what they're looking for? I'm sorry, you guys, I'm in a spot where I didn't know they had this leaf blower out there. And now he's coming in the door. Are you kidding me? He's coming right up. Can you hear me okay? I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, right now, of course, when we want to talk. Anyway, so the next thing is, how are you I have this question written down for myself. How are you exhibiting the qualities your ideal man is looking for? How do you put yourself out there? How do you show that you have the qualities that your ideal man is looking for? Any ideas? Any thoughts? Does anybody have any ideas on what they're doing? I thought I saw somebody jump in. Go ahead and say something. If you jumped in, go ahead and say something. I would really like to know that you're here and acknowledge you, and chat with you a little bit about some of your ideas and your thoughts or your questions on how to make yourself put in the right position for the right guy. So anyway, I had one of my clients, I had given her a homework assignment to really decide on her top 5 non-negotiables that she wants from a guy. What are the top 5 non-negotiables? Do you guys know what that means? What a non-negotiable is in a relationship? Well, I'll tell you, since nobody's answering. The non-negotiables are those things that you must have and that you want in a guy that you will not negotiate on. Qualities in this individual that you will not negotiate on. So, and they have to be substantial. They have to be characteristic type of things, not things that could be like, oh, he's tall or he's handsome or, you know, that kind of thing. Those are things that are superficial. I'm asking for things that are long lasting, things that are foundational, things that will never change, like certain specific characteristics. Is there a level of integrity in this individual? But then, if you are asking for that, what does that look like? And how do you know that? So there are steps that you can take to say, okay, I want this, but what does that really mean? What does it look like? Okay, so for instance, she gave me a list, and one of them was that she wants her guy to be a Christian. Okay, that's all well and good, but what does that mean? What does that look like? How do you know? I mean, anybody can say they're a Christian, right? So they can say, yeah, I'm a Christian, but how do you know that that's factual? Okay, so she gave me an example. She said, yeah, he told me all these things. He's a Christian, he's this and he's that, and you know, he even sent me some scriptures and stuff like that. But when they got together, he basically was not acting that way, and he took advantage of her the first night. Well, she allowed it, but okay. So so how do you know? How do you know that somebody is on the up and up, and if they're a Christian? So I suggested, well, does he go to a men's Bible study? Does he go to church on a regular basis? And how do you know that he does that? You won't know that until you're around him for a while and maybe go to church with him. And ask him, talk about what he's learning in his Bible studies. Talk about how he's developing his relationship with God. And when you're around him long enough, you know this to be true. Okay? Not just because he says it. All right? So you really need to know, look for the walk of the talk. Okay? The walk of the talk. So that's kind of how you need to dig a little bit deeper. And a lot of these things, when you're saying you want these top 5 non-negotiables, it's not going to, just by asking him, it's going to be by being around him and being in his life and figuring those things out. Okay? So it's not just, yeah, he says he's this, so I believe him. He says he has this, you believe him. So what would you guys say would be your top 5 non-negotiables? From what I just gave you examples of. Write them in the comments. If you're not on live right now, but you're listening to this later, kind of write them down. Tell me what you think, what your non-negotiables would be, okay? Because it's really important that you get to the nitty-gritty of what the things are that you will not non-negotiate on. Like I want a partner who is going to have the same spiritual understanding, the same spiritual level as I do, okay? The other one has to be, he has to have a strong interest in being healthy. Okay, I don't want somebody who eats junk food all the time and doesn't exercise and doesn't take care of themselves and isn't looking for long-term quality of life. Those things scream long-term quality of life. And I have my own ideas of what that looks like, but I want somebody who is not going to take their body for granted. Somebody who is conscientious about maintaining physical, emotional, and spiritual health. Okay, so what that looks like, how is he taking care? What is he doing to take care of himself? Okay, does he work out on a regular basis? It doesn't have to do the same thing I do, but is he consciously taking care of himself? Does he, go to the doctor and get physicals regularly? Okay, things like that. So those are the 2 of my top 2. I'm not going to tell you the rest of them, you guys. But tell me what yours are and what those look like for you. So also next, in order for you to exhibit those qualities that you want your ideal man to look for and position yourself to be for the kind of relationship you want, you need to make sure that you are healthy emotionally, spiritually, and physically, right? And how many of you are in those health zones for each of those areas? How many of you want to be in those health zones in those areas? I mean, some people just don't want to have any spiritual affiliation, any spiritual health. That's fine. You don't have to have a religion or a belief system in God or Buddha or Allah or whatever that is that you may think. But spiritual mindedness also comes from centering yourself and knowing who you are. And this kind of leads me to a workshop I'm going to be doing in January, one of my first group workshops I'm putting together. In fact, I'm working on it this week with a friend of mine. Knowing who you are. So your spiritual health comes from digging deep inside and looking at your soul, looking at who you are, looking at where you are in this world, what your place is in this world. And so that takes work, that takes some effort. And one of the things you can start doing is meditation. I have this meditation session that I use every day. It's by Oprah Winfrey and Deepak Chopra. And it's a 21-day meditation series that you can get for free. And then you can also download different types of meditations that work for you, and where you are in your journey for spiritual health. So Deepak Chopra and Oprah Winfrey. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's just called 21-day meditation series. So it's an app that you can put on your phone. It's really, really good. So I use it and I love it. So check it out. And then, hi Nicole, how are you? Glad you could join. I don't know if you just joined. I'm not sure when it happened, so I don't know what you missed. But right now I'm just talking about getting yourself healthy spiritually so that you can position yourself for the right relationship, and so that you can exhibit those qualities to attract the man that you want. So I was talking about some of those things. If you have any ideas or thoughts right now, go ahead and type them in and we can chat about them. You can also go back and look at this live later and type in your comments in the section below, and we can kind of chat about those offline as well. But would really like to have you guys kind of responding, to some of these things that I've been talking about. So there's a lot of ways that you can prepare yourself spiritually, but meditation is a good one to get yourself centered and know kind of where you are in your spiritual health. That leads to you opening up yourself for emotional health. So your emotional health is tied to your spiritual and physical health. And I talk to a lot of people about how do we make that happen? And a lot of people look at me and go, and I know, Nikki, you were talking about that with me just the other day, about how I keep myself, how I'm so happy all the time, and how I keep myself healthy. And it's because I've done all those things. I've gotten myself to the place where I feel like I'm spiritually grounded. I meditate every day. I pray every day. I am a churchgoer, and I do have a relationship with God. And that keeps me going. That keeps me grounded. It keeps me focused. And it helps me with my emotional stability. And I apologize, I'm in an area where I have people walking by all the time, but they're just kind of looking at me like I'm crazy, but I don't care. This is for you guys. So any thoughts, any questions, any comments, you guys? Nikki, you got anything you want to say? You can definitely type it in there. I'll answer it for you. Maybe it'll help other people when they go to read this later on or view this later on. So emotional health. Part of that also too is maybe trying to get rid of some of the things in your life that have maybe kept you from being positive. Like I do know some people who have anger issues, so that keeps them from being emotionally stable, because their emotions go up and down. So dealing with those anger issues are going to be important, because that really doesn't help a relationship when you have anger issues. Also too, there are other things that we women tend to have more than others. It might be jealous issues. We tend to put ourselves in a relationship and get too close too fast too soon, and then we end up getting jealous. But that's a whole nother dynamic. That's a whole rabbit hole we can go down we don't have time for right now. But if you know you have a tendency to lead towards jealousy, that might be something you might want to really look at. Sometimes if you just take one specific thing and admit to yourself, part of it is admitting to yourself that you do have a specific issue, and go, okay, I want to work on this. I want to work on this one issue. That's great. That's awesome. that's perfect. And what you're going to want to do is find help with that. I can help you with that. Find help with that one specific issue so that you can get over it and past it and work on it so that you're a little more healthy emotionally. So that's one thing that you can do. Now let's talk about the other piece, the physically healthy piece. This is one that people tend to really lax in because it's hard. It's really, really hard. Okay, Nicole says rules seem to be reversed these days. Men are looking to qualify. What did you say? Men are looking to, I can't see the whole thing. Men are looking to qualify me. Oh, they want to qualify you for, oh, I see. So they're kind of, like what you're saying is qualifying you for if you are what they want, right? Well, and that's, you know what, that's kind of true. What you're going to want to do is know that these guys are going to be, they may have their top 5 non-negotiables as well. They may be trying to qualify you to see if you are what they want. So yeah, it goes both ways actually. And but the question is, do they have the right quality non-negotiables, you know? So those are the things that you're going to want to be considering. That's why I said, are you exhibiting the qualities your ideal man is looking for? Are you exhibiting those qualities? And if he wants, you know, somebody who is easy, you know, then, and if you're not, then that's not a quality you're going to want to be exuding. I was talking to, in fact, I think I was talking to Nikki about this the other day. One of the things that guys, they tend to see right off the bat what you're like when you walk in a room. Okay, do you hold your head up? Are you looking straight? Are you focused? Are you carrying your head down a little bit and kind of looking a little bit unsure about where you are? And because when you do that, they look at you as prey. I'm sorry, but that's really it. They look at you as, she's not so sure about herself. Maybe I can, and they're not obviously consciously thinking this. This is just kind of what guys do in their head unconsciously, that, you know, looks like she might be an easy target, you know. So you're going to want to get yourself to a self-assured state so that when you are walking around and being visible to these guys, that you're exuding a sense of power and empowerment in yourself, that they'll know that, you know, if they want to talk to you, they're going to have to be dealing with a woman who's empowered, who's not going to just let herself go, and is going to have a quality conversation with somebody and know exactly what they want. You know, that kind of is intimidating to a lot of guys. So I can tell you right now that I don't get a lot of guys coming up and talking to me because I exude the qualities that I want to attract in a guy. The guys that do come up and talk to me are the guys that are self-assured, who have a strong character, have integrity, and know that if they're going to talk to me, they're going to be talking to somebody who is educated and has a sense of self-awareness and empowerment. That's what you want, okay? So yeah, they're qualifying you, Nikki. They're qualifying everybody to see if you got what they want, and that's kind of what happens. So I'm going to get back to the physically fit part, physically healthy part. So that is the toughest thing, to be physically healthy, because you want to be able to, I guess, show that you take care of yourself. Because guys want to know that you're going to be taking care of yourself. They don't want to take care of you. Guys, very few guys want to have to take care of somebody. They want somebody who can come alongside them and be with them and be a partner with them. So the taking care of somebody is not high on their priority list. So if they can see that you are taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and spiritually, that's kind of what they're going to be attracted to. So think about that. So is anybody else joined that I haven't seen? Make yourself known. And yeah, anybody else there? This is the Worthy Wednesday for Unbreak Your Life, if you just jumped on or come in the middle of it. a Worthy Wednesday with Unbreak Your Life. This is Tammy Espatia, and I kind of went through everything earlier in my live, and so I think I'm going to leave it at that. I didn't get a lot of conversation, didn't a lot of people joining in the conversation, but hopefully after this is offline, you can. So feel free to put notes in the comment, and I'll be reading them. I'll see them when they come up, and I can respond to you guys. If you want to reach out to me, go ahead and instant message me, and I would be happy to chat with you. I do have my new website coming online in about 3 weeks, I'm hoping. I have, like I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have an online group course starting in January, and it's going to be all about a new year and a new you. Kind of figuring out who you really are, what you really want, how you're going to be able to position yourself for the relationship that you want to have. These three guys walking by. They're listening to me. How to position yourself for the relationship you want, how to exhibit those qualities that you want to attract in a guy, and then how are you going to make yourself healthy emotionally, spiritually, and physically once you know who you are. How are you going to make next year the new year for the new you? So that's really kind of what I'm going to be focusing on in January, but I'll be putting it out there on my site and out here on my page for you guys to take a look at and maybe join in. So if there aren't any other questions or any more comments, I'm going to say goodbye. And Nikki, thank you for joining, and I will talk to everybody offline, okay? Thanks, guys. Have a great Wednesday. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.